wish I could make my deliveries more often, but the road's getting dangerous. Passing through on your way to High Hrothgar? About to make a delivery up there myself. Mostly food supplies like dried fish and salted meats. You know, things that keep fresh for a long time. The Greybeards tend not to get out much, if you catch my meaning. Well, it's kind of an understanding between us. I mean, it just wouldn't feel right to charge them for a bit of preserved food. Trouble is, my legs aren't what they used to be, and climbing the 7,000 steps takes its toll. Really? Well, that would be kind of you. Here, take this bag of supplies. At the top of the steps, you'll see the offering chest. Just leave the bag inside, and you're done. I've been to the monastery many times, but I've never even laid eyes on one of the Greybeards. Not that I'd care to. Being masters of the Thuum, they could kill you by uttering a single word. Well, not that they would. They seem peaceful, but I wouldn't want to provoke them. Well, there's the occasional wolf pack or stray, but that's all I've ever had to deal with. Shouldn't be a problem for the likes of you. Other than that, watch your footing. In these wintry conditions, the stairs can be treacherous. Be careful up there.
Welcome, dear viewers, to CouchWarrior TV on YouTube. I am the CouchWarrior, and you are watching Aranis Arcana, a Skyrim Let's Play. Welcome to Chapter 9, Part 2. We are ascending the 7,000 stairs up the throat of the world to High Hrothgar. Let's check out the shrines. Before the birth of men, the dragons ruled all Mundus. The word was the voice, and they spoke only for true needs. For the voice could blot out the sky and flood the land. Welcome back to the story, brothers and sisters. Thank you for all the kind comments from Chapter 9, Part 1, Shrouded Hearth Barrow. Seems that there were a lot of you who really enjoyed watching Fleet just kind of do a good old dungeon crawl. And I had a lot of fun with that one too. That Barrow was a lot more fun than I remembered it being. So now we are going to advance the story a little bit here. Who's this?
Need something?
What are you doing?
I like to spend time up here. Walk the steps. Meditate on the emblems. Doesn't hurt when I bag some game along the way.
Do you visit the Greybeards?
They're not the sort to take visitors. But I never go that high up the path anyway. Some folk who make the trip leave them food or other essentials, but not to make conversation.
All right, let's be on our way then. So this is an interesting experience for Fleet. This is something of a sojourn for him. Self-discovery. Another tablet. I gotta look up. Here we go. Men were born and spread over the face of Mundus. The dragons presided over the crawling masses. Men were weak then and had no voice. Little rain. Put the cloak on. So as I was saying, this is some self-exploration for Fleet. He's very, very curious about what it means to be the Dragonborn, and he could not possibly pass the throat of the world and not make this climb to figure out what this is all about. So, in essence, we're kind of putting some other things on hold. Fleet has made the decision that this personal trip outweighs the task that he's currently performing for the Dark Brotherhood, in that he's basically saying to himself, they can wait, this is about me at the moment. So he is on a quest to discover what all of this means, and he is hoping that the Greybeards will have the answer and be willing to share it with him and make this long climb worthwhile. Fleet's journal. The climb was long and difficult. At the higher altitudes, the weather became worse. Freezing temperatures made my limbs feel heavy and my joints ache. About halfway up, I encountered a Nord warrior standing beside the trail. He was an imposing man, standing at least a foot taller than I and half again as broad across the shoulders. His iron armor was adorned with trophies, some of which were considered the most fearsome creatures to walk the forests of Skyrim. I approached cautiously. This was not a man I wanted to tangle with. However, as I approached, it became apparent that he was waiting for me. His name was Valfar, and he informed me that he'd been asked by the Greybeards to escort me up the remainder of the 7,000 steps. It was easy to understand why they might ask this of him. It would seem the Dragonborn could be a potential threat. It was clear that this man was more than capable of handling threats. I didn't say much to the man, but Valfar seemed to have much to say. Many of his comments were incendiary and left no mystery as to his feelings about the Empire and the Thalmor. I found his proclamations refreshingly honest and even insightful. In fact, I shared many of his views, but our methods could not have been more opposed.
The Empire might send over a few legionnaires to make sure we're serious. And of course,
Welcome back, brothers and sisters. We've picked up a new follower. His name is Valfar. He is a mod. I will put his particulars in the show notes so you can review that if you'd like to. My belief is that he is going to add some interesting color to our gameplay. However, I don't know how long he's going to be with us. For now, he is nothing more than an escort for us up the remaining stairs to the top of High Hrothgar.
I'll die before elves dictate the fates of men. Are we not one in this?
As was clear from Fleet's last journal entry, Valfar's views on the Imperials and the Thalmor are pretty obvious to anybody who travels with him for more than 5 minutes, which we will have done by the time we reach the top.
I'll fight the entire legion
So there shouldn't be too much mystery
show their faces here.
about what we're in for with him as a companion. But one of the interesting things is Fleet also is opposed to the Empire in its current form. However, as we alluded to in the journal entry,
Imperial arrogance.
our methods are going to be quite a bit different than Valfar's. Fleet, of course, if you remember, is actually planning to help the conspirators who have approached the Dark Brotherhood
One lives for the things he is
remove
willing
the
to
current
die
emperor from the throne and put their own government in place. But his end goal is to control that replacement regime, and by doing so, control the imperial government to some degree through threat, blackmail, influence.
My hatred for the Empire is vested only by love for my countrymen.
So while we are actually planning on controlling the Empire, he would like to see it eliminated entirely, which is probably an unrealistic desire, but he is passionate without a doubt. So the outstanding question for us is, why is a man with views as strong as Valfar's hanging out on the throat of the world rather than a part of the Stormcloak army? There must be a reason for that, which we will explore further.
Keep an eye out for wolves if you're headed
Let's
up.
check out this tablet. Kine called on Parthenax, who pitied man. Together they taught men to use the voice. The dragon war raged. Dragon against tongue.
Path to Hrothgar.
So this is giving us some insights as to how man originally learned how to use the voice. And we continue to climb.
What are we waiting for?
So these passes and so forth are pretty treacherous. I think we're rapidly approaching the point where I'm probably going to have to stop and put on some cold weather gear.
He's taken at the moment of his death. And know this for true.
Alright, we know that there is a troll who occupies this mountain pass, so we are going to proceed with caution.
Can't wait to see the look on their faces when they find us here, waiting to spill
Fleet
their
would
blood.
also be looking to make an impression on Valfar and just make sure that he understands that Fleet is not a person to be trifled with either. So we're kind of in this mutual intimidation situation here at the moment, just because these guys don't know each other. Troll down. Yeah, I'm freezing. All right. Taken care of. Suppose I better look at this one too. Man prevailed, shouting Alduin out of the world, proving for all that their voice too was strong, although their sacrifices were manyfold. Shouting Alduin out of the world.
That godless emperor can shove his damn treaty into the steaming nether reaches of my you-know-where.
Haha, that was a good one.
First, we'll kick the Thalmor and their bloody imperial puppets out of the country. Then, we will rebuild Skyrim into the land she once was.
It may not be so easy, actually, to rebuild Skyrim. What Fleet is hoping to do is accomplish this without tearing Skyrim down in the first place. With roaring tongues, the Sky Children conquer, founding the first empire with sword and voice, whilst dragons withdrew from this world. Getting the whole story here. So I paused for a moment there, put on some cold weather gear, regrouped a little bit, chugged a resist frost potion, and we're continuing up. Now what I'm going to do here, point of interest, I'm going to ask Valfar to be quiet for a little while. Probably isn't going to like that too much, but he's quite a vocal follower, so I'm going to ask him to be quiet for a while. Now the interesting thing about him, and if you recall, as we've talked about in previous episodes, I'm using the mod Amazing Follower Tweaks. Oh, here's another one. We don't want to miss one. Come on. Where is it? There we go. The tongues at Red Mountain went away humbled. Jurgen Windcaller began his 7-year meditation. Okay. So as I was saying, Valfar is a mod, right? So when I first installed him and I was playtesting, he didn't immediately respond to the options that are afforded us by Amazing Follower Tweaks. But after some experimentation, what I realized is any follower that you acquire can be imported into Amazing Follower Tweaks. So once I did that, AFT just kind of registered him, and then I was able to control him. Jurgen Windcaller chose silence and returned. The 17 disputants could not shout him down. All right, so now we've transitioned into the tablets that are telling us about the founding of High Hrothgar and the Greybeards. So kind of the story of Jurgen Windcaller, who is the founder of what's essentially like a monastery here. I'm whipping through these pretty fast just because I would hate for Fleek to croak from exposure right on the steps of High Hrothgar. That would be pretty bittersweet after all this climbing. So anyway, I guess the long and the short of it is, on Amazing Follower Tweaks, you can import any modded follower you want. You just have to go through that step. For years all silent, the Greybeard spoke one name, Tiber Septim. Stripling then was summoned to High Hrothgar and blessed and named him Dovahkiin. All right. So essentially the difference between Fleet and anybody else in Tamriel who is able to use the voice is that he's able to use it naturally. He doesn't have to train in order to use it. In other words, he is something of a savant where the voice is concerned. He can pick up the language, and he can use the shout without having to spend years and years training. Kind of a natural talent. The voice is worship. Follow the inner path. Speak only in true need. I think that gets us through the tablets. I think I may have missed one or two in there somewhere when we first encountered Valfar, but I was a bit distracted. All right, let's drop off all this stuff here for Klimek. We did promise to do that, did we not? Since we're making the trip anyway. Here it is. Done. Now, if I remember correctly, Klimek actually will pay you a nice sum of money for doing that. So that should have a nice payoff for us when we finally get back down the mountain. And here we are. We have finally arrived at High Hrothgar. Valfar keeping a watchful eye on us.
So, a Dragonborn appears at this moment in the turning of the age.
I'm answering your summons.
We will see if you truly have the gift. Show us, Dragonborn. Let us taste of your voice.
All right, let's equip our unrelenting force. Let them have it.
Shout at us. Let us taste of your voice. Dragonborn, it is you. Welcome to High Hrothgar. I am Master Angir. I speak for the Greybeards. Now, tell me, Dragonborn, why have you come here?
want to find out what it means to be Dragonborn.
We are here to guide you in that pursuit, just as the Greybeards have sought to guide those of the dragon blood that came before you.
You mean I'm not the only Dragonborn?
You are not the first. There have been many of the dragon blood since Akatosh first bestowed that gift upon mortal kind. Whether you are the only Dragonborn of this age, that is not ours to know. You are the only one that has been revealed thus far. That is all I can say.
Who are you? What is this place?
Followers of the Way of the Voice. You stand in high Hrothgar, the slopes of Kinnarid's sacred mountain. Here we commune with the voice of the sky and strive to achieve balance between our inner and outer selves.
I'm ready to learn.
You have shown that you are Dragonborn. You have the inborn gift. But do you have the discipline and temperament to follow the path laid out for you? That remains to be seen. Without training, you have already taken the first steps towards projecting your voice into a thum, a shout. Now let us see if you are willing and able to learn. When you shout, you speak in the language of dragons. Thus, your dragon blood gives you an inborn ability to learn words of power. All shouts are made up of 3 words of power. As you master each word, your shout will become progressively stronger. Master Einarth will now teach you Ro, the second word in unrelenting force. Ro means balance in the dragon tongue. Combine it with Fus, force, to focus your thumb more sharply. Ro.
Right, let's learn Ro. Our first lesson. Okay. There it is.
You learn a new word like a master. You truly do have the gift. But learning a word of power is only the first step. You must unlock its meaning through constant practice in order to use it in a shout. Well, that is how the rest of us learn shouts. As Dragonborn, you can absorb a slain dragon's life force and knowledge directly. As part of your initiation, Master Einarth will allow you to tap into his understanding of Ro.
Okay, he's gifting us what is the equivalent of a dragon soul, so that we can learn this new word.
Now, let us see how quickly you can master your new thing.
All right.
Use your unrelenting force shout to strike the targets as they appear.
All right, bring it on. Here we go.
Well done. Again.
Second time.
You learn quickly. Once more.
There's 3 down.
Impressive. Your thumb is precise. You show great promise, Dragonborn. We will perform your next trial in the courtyard. Follow Master Bori.
Well, as many times as I've been through this sequence, playing Skyrim, I still find it interesting and powerful. But we're going to put our own CouchWarrior twist on it. First, we got to go out to the courtyard, and we're going to learn our next thum, which will be Whirlwind Sprint. A shout that is actually quite handy for an assassin. My thought is that Fleet would actually find the environment in High Hrothgar to be stimulating and kind of relaxing. Probably it feels safe, peaceful, the kind of place that he would like to be in, and probably part of the reason why his own home is so high up in the mountains and so secluded from the world.
You will now see how you learn a completely new shout. Master Bori will teach you wood, which means whirlwind.
All right, here we go. Here's our next word to learn.
Hear the word within yourself before you can project it into a thum.
All right, now
Approach Master
he'll gift
Bori
us
and he
another.
will gift you his knowledge of wood. Now we will see.
Always good to see someone I can trust.
You shout.
All right, I'm going to ask him to wait here.
By the nine, I hate the waiting. The goddamn waiting.
Master Bori. Rex. Wood. Now it's your turn.
Wow.
Stand next to me. Master Bori will open the gate.
Oh, don't want to forget to equip our new shout.
Use your whirlwind sprint to pass through before it closes.
We did it. Another test completed.
Your quick mastery of a new thum is astonishing. I'd heard the stories of the abilities of Dragonborn, but to see it for myself...
I don't know how I do it. It just happens.
You are now ready.
Thank you. What's next?
For your last trial. Retrieve the horn of Jürgen Windcaller, our founder, from his tomb in the ancient fane of Ustengrav. Remain true to the way of the voice, and you will return.
Why are the
No
dragons
doubt
returning?
the appearance
Does it
of a
have something to
Dragonborn
do
at
with
this
me?
time is not an accident. Your destiny is surely bound up with the return of the dragons. You should focus on honing your voice, and soon your path will be made clear.
Surely there's more you can tell
There
me.
is indeed much that we know that you do not. That does not mean that you are ready to understand it. Do not let your easy mastery of the voice tempt you into the arrogance of power. That has been the downfall of many Dragonborn before you.
Well, what does it mean to be
Dragons
Dragonborn?
have the inborn ability to learn and project their voice. Dragons also are able to absorb the power of their slain brethren. A few mortals are born with similar abilities. Whether a gift or a curse has been a matter of debate down through the centuries. What you have already learned in a few days took even the most gifted of us years to achieve. Some believe that Dragonborn are sent into the world by the gods at times of great need. We will speak more of that later, when you are ready.
Okay. Who is
He was a
Jürgen
great
Windcaller?
war leader of the ancient Nords, a master of the voice, or tongue. After the disaster at Red Mountain, where the Nord army was annihilated, he spent many years pondering the meaning of that terrible defeat. He finally came to realize that the gods had punished the Nords for their arrogant and blasphemous misuse of the voice. He was the first to understand that the voice should be used solely for the glory and worship of the gods, not the glory of men. Jürgen Windcaller's mastery of the voice eventually overcame all opposition, and the way of the voice was born.
We may have to write our own doctrine on
The
that
voice
topic.
was a gift of the goddess Kinnereth at the dawn of time. She gave mortals the ability to speak as dragons do. Although this gift has often been misused, the only true use of the voice is for the worship and glory of the gods. True mastery of the voice can only be achieved when your inner spirit is in harmony with your outward actions. In the contemplation of the sky, Kinnereth's domain, and the practice of the voice, we strive to achieve this balance.
But I don't follow your philosophy. Why help me learn the voice?
The Dragonborn is an exception to all the rules. The dragon blood itself is a gift of the gods. If we accept one gift, how can we deny the other? As Dragonborn, you have received the ability to shout directly from Akatosh. We therefore seek to guide you on the proper use of your gift, which transcends the restrictions which bind other mortals.
Why are shouts in the dragon
Dragons
language?
have always been able to shout. Language is intrinsic to their very being. There is no difference in the dragon tongue between debating and fighting. Shouting comes as naturally to a dragon as breathing or speaking. In mythic times, when mortal kind was in great need, the goddess Kinnereth granted us the ability to speak as dragons do. For most people, long years of training are required to learn even the simplest shout. But for you, the dragon speech is in your blood, and you learn it almost without effort.
Okay.
Sky above, voice within.
Sky above, voice within. Well, Fleet is soaking this up like a sponge. He doesn't believe everything he hears or subscribe to everything he hears. He's going to probably need more evidence, need to do more research to kind of determine his own beliefs and choose his own path. But everything that he's learned here so far has provided him a little bit of insight into what's going on with him at this point. So it's all valuable information, but there's obviously much more research to be done. All right. Follow me.
I'd follow you into the depths of oblivion. You know that.
And back we go into High Hrothgar to contemplate what's going on and to prepare for our journey back down the mountain with all of this newfound ability and knowledge. Fleet's Journal. Night fell on the throat of the world. The Greybeards allowed me to stay the night, saving me the broken neck I would have likely suffered attempting the descent in the dark. Valfar kept me company I welcomed. In the quiet of this place, I found him to be quite open about his past. He was from Solstheim and a blacksmith by trade. The bear skin that adorned his helm, he had killed himself as a boy and had worn ever since. He even showed me sketches of blades and armor he had committed to paper so that he might recall the designs later. He had seen his father die in the Battle of Red Ring, cut down by elves. It was easy to see where his hatred of elves came from. I saw much of myself in him. His eyes were distant and haunted when he spoke of his father. There was something disarming about his open nature. Late into the night, I found myself reading passages from my journal to him, recounting stories of my travels, but leaving out the more delicate details of my work. Since that time, he had lived on the mountain, hunting, meditating, and killing any bands of Imperial soldiers or Thalmor that might be foolish enough to attempt the climb. He viewed himself as a protector for the Greybeards. Through the night, we talked and drank until we were both quite drunk. He was intense and serious, commenting that Thalmor armor is not worth the sweat off my balls. To which I replied, "Your sack must sweat diamonds." This comment was followed by an infectious roar of laughter that incapacitated both of us for the remainder of the night. Bloated with foul-tasting mead, I eventually passed out on the table. At sunrise, Valfar offered to accompany me down the mountain. How could I say no?
Countless dead haunt countless sleepless nights. When Skyrim becomes whole again, perhaps so will I.
all the wood you can chop.
You there. You're the one they call Dragonborn.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Your lies fall on deaf ears, deceiver. We know you are the false Dragonborn. You shall not stand in the way of the true Dragonborn's return. He comes soon, and we shall offer him your heart. When Lord Mirac appears, all shall bear witness. None shall stand to oppose him.
Using my shout! Ooh. What? There's one down. Charging the other one.
I purify the world for Mirac's return. Good job.
Well, we did it, brothers and sisters. We made it down the mountain. We've killed the cultists, and we have also now drawn the attention of Mirac. What we've also discovered in this quick little battle is that our newfound friend Valfar can use the voice. I used my unrelenting force shout initially but they were able to block my shout with a ward. But once their shields were down, Valfar hit them with his and they went flying. So there's more to this Valfar than meets the eye. We found this letter. We're going to read this, investigate who these people were. Board the vessel, Northern Maiden, docked at Raven Rock. Take it to Windhelm, then begin your search. Kill the false Dragonborn known as Fleet Featherstone before he reaches Solstheim. Return with word of your success, and Mirek shall be most pleased. Now we must determine who this Mirek is. And that brings us to the end of another episode. I want to thank you for taking the journey with me. And until next time, may all that you do be swift, quiet, and deadly. And to all Skyrim assassins, I salute you. Silence is our battle cry. You've been watching Aranis Arcana, a Skyrim Let's Play. If you liked this video, please rate, like, and subscribe. For more information on this and other CouchWarrior broadcasts, visit me on the web at www.couchwarrior.tv.